Hello, welcome to my channel, and today we are doing another tutorial. Now, like I say, as I always say, this is how I do my things that I show you all. Like I say, you do not have to follow what I do, but I'm just showing you a different way. And I also like to be very thorough, and I like to talk through my videos so that I know that you are grasping and that it is easy for you to understand. And also do know that there is an option to speed up the videos at any time. So if anytime you see a video and you think, oh my gosh, she's long-winded, no, fast forward. Okay, so like I said, today we're going to make a tube scarf with pom-poms attached to each end. This is a 31 peg loom. Like I said, I like to use the 31 peg loom to do my scarves. Now you can go under the one under this one, but it would be the baby one, which I should have gotten that one. But it is the blue one. So if you know what I'm talking about and you have this loom, then you know it is the blue one that is under this one. And this loom came from Hobby Lobby. This is another one of my favorite looms. So as you see throughout the videos, I will do different types of looms. That will be my favorite, but I will be doing a updated version of my 2019 2020 favorite looms. So like I said, this is going to be very simple, nothing overdrawn, nothing to overthink. So if you're ready to see what I do, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure that your notifications are on and that you comment down below. So let's get started. I do have the smaller loom, so like I said, you can either use the 31 peg loom or you can use the 24 peg loom. And this is how the purple one, the blue one, the light blue one that looks like this would usually fit inside of here. Like I said, this would be for not an infant. So I would use this if it was for an infant. But I'm going to use this one because this one will be for teenager, adult, younger kid, whichever one. Like I say, you always make your little slip knotty. And as always, I will be doing no, I'm not doing the crochet cast on this time because it really doesn't matter because I'm going to end up closing both ends. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put my slip knot on there. Now for my hats, I normally do the crochet cast on. So like I said, you normally just do your little regular slip knot, nothing fancy. I do not start right here. Personal preference, not saying that you have to do this, but I definitely do not start right here. I go right here and I wrap twice. Now, I see a lot of people talking about laddering. I cannot stress it enough, is that when you wrap your pegs twice all the way around, you're going to have a laddering effect. Personally, me, I don't like the laddering look. So to avoid the laddering look, I always just do my first cast on row one at a time. And then once I do my more consistent rows, I do at least 4 or 5 at a time, but no more than that. And this is a number 4 weight yarn. I'm using 2 strands. They're coming from the same ball of yarn, and this is by Red Heart. Like I said, it's been a while since I've bought yarn, so I've just been using what I have here. just because of what my income allows. So like I said, I cannot get any spectacular yarn, at least not right now. But yeah, and like I said, you can even put fur pom-poms at the end. I know that I did 2 orders one time. I think I did I know I did a pink one, and I want to say I did a red one. And I used the blue loom. I really wished I had used this one, the 31 peg, but it still came out pretty. But I think for an adult, someone older that is not a baby, definitely use a 31 peg loom. Use a 24 peg loom for a baby, even a small child. So those are what I recommend. Okay. Going to show you how long that it is going to be, and how to attach those pom-poms on there as well. So I'm going to clear out my row counter, and it is at 0. So I want to go ahead and press 1, and you can get these off of eBay. So this is officially row 1. So once I join the last and the first, I count that as a row. So again, I only do 4 to 5 pegs at a time. I know it's cool and it's like, I could get done so much quicker. No, you're going to hate it at the end because you're going to have that laddering effect. Okay? So again, and I'm going to go ahead and put my yarn down beside me so I can keep going. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Okay, so we are back, and the last clip that I did, I told you I was going to stop at 20 rows. Well, I kind of went crazy, and I have done all of this. So this is more than 20 rows, but I have it flattened out. And this is by Red Heart. This is a number 4 yarn. And again, I'm still using the same loom. So this would fit a kid. Now, for an adult, it would definitely have to be longer than this. So I say a kid. So my son is 7 years old. My other son is 9 years old. I have a 13-year-old and I have a 14-year-old. So this could fit them, especially my 7-year-old. So I know for sure at least a 7-year-old you can get this around, and I still have this much yarn left. So when making one for an adult, please be prepared to use a full skein of yarn, at least a full skein of yarn. And so far, I'm going. My stuff started all the way over. I do remember what was left, so I'm going to go ahead and, jeez. Yeah, so I had 175 rows, and I'm glad that I remembered that, because if I didn't, I would be in trouble, and I don't know how my thing ended up resetting. So, like I said, this is 175 rows, and I have a tape measurer, so I will tell you how long it is right now at 175. And just let me get this back at 175. So if you do have this problem that I just had, be sure to at least write it down somewhere on a sticky note, just in case, because stuff like that does happen. So like I said, this right here, as of now, is 175 rows. It's all E-wrap, nothing complicated. And I'm going to use my tape measurer. And if I had a longer desk and the proper equipment, then I probably could lay this all out, but we're just going to make do with what we have. But if we can get to 1,000 subscribers, I definitely can afford to do the things that I want. So it is all the way at 1. So this may be even longer than the tape measure. So that is 15. And as of right now, I'm not pulling the scarf. I'm not pulling on the scarf. So as of right now, it is about 5 inches. So once get on the actual inside of here, this is about 5 inches. So like I said, my 7-year-old can wear this, and like I said, I still have more rows, but I will show you all when I finish this up. I will show you all how I get this together and add the pom-pom. So I will definitely come back with that part, because this is redundant. Like I said, all E-wrap. We all know how to do that. And just in case, because this video may be shorter than I thought, I'm going to go ahead and hit it another time. So that's 176. And of course, I don't have my hook on deck. So like I said, with any E-wrapping, I do not do no more than 5, just because of the laddering effect. Now you can do knit one, purl one, but I will tell you now, just the E-wrap takes forever. I'm telling you now, that purl one, knit one, is going to take forever too. I think this is maybe the least favorite type of scarf to make. Oops, sorry. This is the least type of favorite scarf to make on the loom that anyone likes to do. Normally the 8-figure stitch goes kind of swiftly, but this is that dreaded that dreaded scarf type, especially for an adult. Now I could tolerate the time for a baby, which for a baby I would definitely not make this big, and I would definitely use a smaller loom. So I will show you that. I think I showed you in the beginning where I had the blue loom, and that is the 24 peg loom, I think. I use that to make the baby scarves. And normally for the baby scarves, I make, like I said, for babies, you don't really need to make them extremely long, especially for choking hazards. So just be cautious when you're doing these baby scarves. You don't want them to be extra long. And like I said, I'm just doing the same thing around and around. And again, you put that stitch marker on there to mark where you want to, every time that you want to hit your row counter, this is where I know that I want to hit my row counter when I get right here. So like I said, I have done 176 rows. I'm going to keep going all the way to the end, and when I get to the end, I will show you. I will already have the pom-poms made because we already know how to do that. And for the pom-poms, I will be using this pom-pom maker. Now, if this was for like an adult or something, then I would use that blue one. But for video purposes, I'm just going to use this. So after I have done finishing this up and making the pom-poms, I will show you how I gather my ends and how I assemble it. So stay tuned. Okay, I am back. I have done my two pom-poms that I'm going to use. Now I'm going to use gray, and I'm just going to do the hat in gray. And if I can find some blue yarn, because I ran out of this yarn, if I could find some more, I would do the pom-pom in blue with the gray hat. That way it kind of coincides together. So this is like a cowboy's theme or whatever you want to, whatever floats your boat. But this is the final number. I wished I could have gotten to 190 because that number irks my nerves. But don't fret. If you have more yarn, keep on going. But for this one, this is 189. So that is the number of rows you should have. And I had about this much yarn. I worked up about until this much yarn, so to leave over. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do the regular drawstring cast off, because I will be doing a different cast off for the other side. So this one will come together. The other one, you can bring all of the stitches down. It's just going to take me a little bit longer. So what I was going to do when I get to it is I was just going to get a piece of yarn and sew it through each loop and just bring it in together. But I'm going to do it from the inside. So I'll show you that part. So I think I'm going to do the other side first, because it's been quite a while since I have done a scarf on a round loom. And yeah, so just a little update with me. I recently was in the hospital. I will be having surgery because I do have endometriosis. So I will be preparing for that. So I'm trying to do as many videos as I can. And yes, my yarn supply, especially my options right now, they really suck, because I don't really have a good selection of yarn. Now, just because I have another hobby that I do, and I don't loom as much as I've used to, but I am slowly getting back into it. And in fact, some of my things are on Poshmark. So I do have a Poshmark a Poshmark closet. I have had some people interested in my things so far, so that is a good thing. And yeah, I recently shut down my Etsy shop just because it was just a little bit more work than I wanted to, and especially with me being sick, I just could not maintain it. And if I'm not selling anything, then I don't think I should be penalized for it. So with Etsy, they charge you a listing fee. Poshmark does not do that. If you just don't sell it, you just don't sell it. And I can make my money back more on Poshmark than I would being able to have done on Etsy. So with selling your things, I think it's definitely personal preference. Um, Not saying Etsy is bad, but for me, it was not a fit. So I just moved on to Poshmark, and if I'm not mistaken, there are other platforms to sell on too. So like Shopify, Big Cartel. I think I know, if I'm not mistaken, it's like $9.99 for Big Cartel. Um, so that is another option, and I don't think they charge you if you don't sell anything. So for those that are selling your items, you definitely may want to look into that. Look into Poshmark. Look into Big Cartel. Do your research first, because I really wish I had have done my research before I jumped in. So this is the end that we are done with. And again, like I said, it is a drawstring. So what you would end up doing is that you would end up bringing this from the inside down in there. But I'll show you, because I'm doing this part last, and I'm actually going to, no, I'm going to do this part first. So you need to make sure that you have either a crochet hook, whatever size you want to use, and a tapestry needle. I like using my bigger tapestry needles just because it's so much easier. So I just want to, and this is what happens when you use the rest of the skein. You have this, so you can cut this in half if it'll bother you, but it really does not matter, because we're going to end up weaving this in, and we probably will end up cutting some of this. So like I said, this is your drawstring cast on. So what I want to do is I want to actually go from the inside. So what I need to do is I need to kind of, I'm going to put my hand all the way in here. And like I said, there are different ways. So I don't want you to feel like if it's not done this way, then it's not the right way. That is not what I like to teach in my videos, because there's a different way, tons of different ways for doing everything. Okay? So I just want to kind of bring that up to the other side, but I want to bring this working yarn on the other side, and I want to bring that, I want to go ahead and bring this together. So what I want to do is I just want to go ahead and go around in the circle at least one good time. So you want to go around that stitch. And like I said, I do mine different every time. So I may be doing it this week and I may do another one and I may do it different. Like I said, there are different ways of doing everything, and nothing will ever be done the same, because just like I'm showing you this, somebody is doing it a totally different way, and that is just the way life goes. So don't fret, don't get upset if it's not done the way that you do. I like when people show me different ways of doing everything. So like I said, um I have my pom-pom, and what I want to do is I want to bring this back out because I just wanted to make sure that that yarn was on the other side, that working yarn. Now I know some people work from the side right here, on both sides, not just one. But for this side, I like working from the inside, and then of course when I do that other side, I will be working from the side. So I'm gathering up all of my yarn to put into my tapestry needle, all 4 strands, and that's why I said I love using the wider tapestry needles because you can put more yarn in it. And so as you can see, you have that, the bottom part of it. So this would be just like a hat. So like the top part of a hat, well, this is the bottom part of your scarf. So I want to go directly in the middle, and I want to go ahead and put my hand back in here. Okay. So I want to pull that tapestry needle with my other hand, and as you can see, it is going in. So from the looks of it right here, it looks like a little hat, but it is not. So like I said, that is where your pom-pom will sit on your scarf. So what I want to do now is I want to hold on to that. I want to hold on to both of those. And as you can see, I have both right here. So I have that blue piece of yarn, and you can kind of bring it inward a little bit, which it can go right back out, so don't worry. Okay, so you can see where I pulled it through the middle. And like I said, normally when I want to pull that blue to make sure it is tight and hugging that that yellow, I mean not yellow, but this gray yarn. Oh my gosh. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this gray yarn, going to put it in my tapestry needle one more time. And again, this is kind of showing you there are 2 different ways you can do this. So what I want to do, because I want to make sure that this yarn, that this pom-pom is not going anywhere, I'm just going around just like I did with that blue yarn. Yep, just going around in the circle. And I'm going to go around the working yarn right here, and I'm going to go right back where I came from. So I'm just going to hold that, and I'm just going to go right past it. Okay, I'm going to go right next to it on the side, and I'm going to tie this in a knot because we know now that it is not going anywhere, and I just want to pull that yarn just to be extra sure. Now you can either cut this part or you can leave this part in here just like this if you want to. Normally I just leave it in there because it's on that side now, so you can't see it through the yarn. So I'm just going to bring the other side out, and this is the other side. So that is the pom-pom, and of course I would go back and reshape this, but that is one side. Now this is the side where I say you can, if you really wanted to, you can go through these stitches and kind of just bring them all together. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to show you something really quick. So what I want to do is I'm just going to grab this gray yarn because, like I said, I ran out of the blue yarn, and I'm just going to get 2 strands to ensure that it will be as thick as everything else because we used 2 strands for everything else. Make sure they match up, and all I'm going to do is I just want to cut it long enough to where I can get this to stitch all the way around, and it is long enough to grab onto the pom-pom as well. So this is almost like sewing. So if you wanted to, if this string is not long enough, what you could do is that you could do this. Okay. So you got to make sure that it is tight enough when you do tie this off. And like I said, when you get ready to cast this on, you can make your cast on string longer. That way you don't have to do this, but because my string is not longer, then I have to add my extra string, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to, and I probably didn't need this much gray yarn, but it's better to have enough than not to have enough. Okay, so the yarn is coming from right here. So what I want to do is I just want to grab the top of the yarn. Grab the very top of those stitches. So like at the very top right there. And this is basically like a drawstring cast on. It's not done like the other. And we will be stitching this from the side. So I'll show you what I mean when I say drawstring. So you see that we have to get this through all of the hoops. Of course, like I said before, if you want to avoid all of that, just make sure that your cast on string is long enough. And see, it's like we just drawstring cast on. You can see it's already pulling everything close together. And I'm probably just going to do one at a time until I get past this this blue part. Okay. And like I said, you just want to grab all the way around top stitches. And as you can see, it's drawing closer. So it is definitely working. And if y'all hear some noise, I have a little heater going because I am freezing. It's been getting down to the 40s here in Chicago. So the Hulk is coming. The Hulk is a coming. And what you want to try to do is you want to try not to miss a stitch, just because we want it all uniform, just like that. So I know it's hard not to take the shortcut, but try not to, especially if you're doing it this way. And be prepared to do this from the side. Which it should glide right on over, just like that. And you want to make the other stitches aware that you are on your way, so nobody can be surprised. And you could try to do like 2 or 3 at one time, but you're gonna have to get that little bump. That little bump you created when adding that yarn, prepared to go through it. So, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish up going all the way around through these stitches, and then I will come back. Okay, so I'm done going all the way across, all the way around, I mean. And as you can see, the hole is slightly large. So I have pulled it as much as I could. So what you can do is you can just go straight. Even though this part technically will not matter, because this pom-pom will be right here. So I'm just going to go on the top, and this is just like doing what we did on the other side, making sure that it was tight when we went in from the bottom. You may do so if you want to. If that hole does not bother you, then you could definitely leave it there, because like I said, the pom-pom will go right there. So technically you won't be able to see it, but if you're doing it this way, you're going to have to get it to go through these stitches. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm just going to cut these shorter pieces, because maybe make sure it's tight, kind of like a magic knot, they call it. So oops, sorry about that. So I just want to cut the knots so it could just glide through there. We're going to carefully, which are probably, this is the only side that will be a pain in the butt. Or you could turn and use your crochet hook. I forgot about that as well. Okay, so she went through. Okay, we're definitely not going to bring her through anymore. So I'm going to take that last loop out that I did. So we got it in there good enough to where we can close this up some more. So it's definitely closed up a whole lot more. So like I said, I'm going to take, I don't need all of this, so I'm just going to cut this in half. That way we don't have more than we need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my tapestry needle through the yarn, and this time, and you need to make sure you got both pieces. Okay, so we're going to take it through this hole, and you know what, I'm going to get this because I need it to go through the same hole when it comes out the side. So I'm going to take all four, because I want everybody in the same spot. That way we don't have to worry about anybody getting left behind or me having to figure out which stitch or what part of the scarf is the pom-pom coming through, because again we need it to go through the same hole. So we want it to come right here. You won't be able to see it because the pom-pom is big enough, but you just wanted it to come at least right here. Okay, so we're going to pull all of that, and you're going to have to do some finger work. We're going to pull that even longer piece up. So the gray piece came off, so actually we don't need the gray piece, but we do need our pom-pom. So you want to make sure you have your pom-pom. You want to make sure, grab it, make sure you grab both ends tight enough to where you know it's not going anywhere. So normally what I do is I tie mine on the side. So technically all of that adding of the gray string, I didn't really need to do that, but it is what it is. I'm just going to tie it again, and it's not going anywhere, but we still want to make sure, and I just want to go around on the other side, and I kind of like want to tie it again, kind of like tying the shoe. Okay. Yep. So it's definitely not going anywhere. So just double tie it, and again, this will work perfect. Try to make sure that you have the same color yarn as the scarf. And then I'm just going to cut the gray piece as if it was part of the pom-pom, and I'm just going to cut that blue piece down enough where you cannot see it. And yeah, cut it down some more to the length of the pom-pom. Okay, so move everything out of the way, and there you go. You have two pom-poms on your scarf. And like I said, this is your scarf. Both pom-poms at the bottom, and that is the top. So like I said, my son, my 7-year-old son, will be able to wear this. This may be put on Poshmark. I think I wasted something. This may be put on Poshmark. So I'm not exactly sure yet, but yeah, that is the scarf tutorial on a round loom with pom-poms. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you found it very helpful, and I hope you all enjoyed my little blooper with my phone falling and all of that good jazz. So if you like this video, please give this video a big thumbs up. Also, don't forget to look in the description box. There are ways of supporting my channel. I do have a Cash App. I do have a Venmo until I am able to reach to 1,000 subscribers. And if you want to help me and support me in reaching 1,000 subscribers, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And yeah, so as always, I will see y'all later. Bye.